Okay, welcome everyone. It is February 19th, 2019. I'm Sue Moulton, your advanced director, and Jen Mitchell, our advanced director, is going to be doing our training tonight. I'm so excited. This is our Disney Bound monthly series, and she is doing her series on Dumbo. So I am going to mute myself, Jen, and you can take it away.
Okie dokie. Hello, everybody. So I am still kind of getting used to all this Zoom stuff and being the person who's actually like sharing it with you. So give me a minute to share my screen here. Okay. Share. And I think I can just get rid of this on the side. But now I can't see any of you, so you have to unmute yourselves and like say something if you want me to
You must not have screen shared because I can't see your screen again.
Oh, okay, hold on. You can't see my screen?
I can see you, but I don't see your screen. Hit screen share again.
It says stop share. Okay, I stopped the share. I'll try again. Share.
Somebody else unmute. Can you see anything other than Jen?
Yes, I see Dumbo.
Oh, you do?
I can see it.
Oh, I can now. I have to change my screen. Isn't that weird? Sorry.
That's okay. All right. So here we go, our Disney Bound Incredibles training on Dumbo. Our subtitle for the evening is What Are You Afraid of and What is Keeping You from Flying? So for those of you like me who it's been a while since you've watched Dumbo, Dumbo was a young circus elephant who was born with those big ears, and everybody made fun of him and they gave him a mean little nickname of Dumbo. And he was in the circus, and there was this little mouse in the circus too named Timothy. And Timothy discovers that Dumbo can fly. And he encourages Dumbo to fly. He tells Dumbo, you know, your ears were holding you back, but you can use them to fly. And Dumbo is just too scared. He doesn't want to try. But then they give him a magic feather. And whenever he is holding this feather, he believes in himself and he can take off from a cliff and fly. So they have Dumbo in all these circus acts. And one day in the circus, Dumbo and Timothy jump off the platform. And Dumbo loses his magic feather on the way down. However, Timothy convinces him that he can fly anyway, and he does. We're going to watch a scene from it. All right. So, what I love about that is actually, I kind of think of Timothy as Sue. Timothy is like Sue for me. And we all need somebody who can, encourage us to fly. So everyone go ahead and unmute yourselves for a minute, or raise your hands, and let's talk for a minute about how many people are doing things like out and abouts. Christine and Sue are the people I think of first when I think of doing outs and abouts. How many people are doing those?
I did one this week.
Nice, good.
It was my doctor.
Awesome. Anybody else out and about? Sue Moulton, I see your hand. Anyone else?
Me, I do them all the time.
Christine, yes. Hello, Christine. Linda, I saw your hand. Awesome. Okay. How many people are recruiting, mentioning the business opportunity? Christine, I see your hand. Susan, anyone else? Christine and Sue? Okay. How about going live on Facebook? Raise your hand if you're going live on Facebook. Yep. Christine, I know you are. Sue, I know you are. I saw you today. Anybody else? Yeah, Tammy, awesome. Abby, was that you?
I have, not as often as I want to.
Yeah, I've done it before too. I just don't do it regularly. Very nice. Okay. So some of these we might do and some of these we might not. Now, if you're not doing one of these, think about why. So go ahead, unmute yourselves. Why aren't you doing out and about or recruiting or going live? What's holding you back? Anybody?
Come on, girls. If you're not doing it, let's be honest about what is your fear? What are you afraid of?
For me, it's, I don't really go out a lot. And when I do, it's usually with my daughter and it's to get like a specific thing. So I just, I'm always rushing when I go out. So I don't really I don't do a lot of interaction with people when I go out, so it makes it a little difficult.
Nice. Thank you.
That's similar to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about it when I talk to people where it's relevant, but I don't talk to that many people except at my full-time job, and it just doesn't feel appropriate when I'm at my other job.
Nice. Okay. Anyone else want to share? Thank you, Abby.
For me, I don't always know what to say.
Yeah.
How do I bring it up? Like I'm out at the grocery store, I don't know. How do I even do that?
Yeah, Tammy, absolutely. Sue, I see your hand. You're muted though, Sue.
Sorry. So just some examples, and the more we talk and the more we're on calls like this, you'll get an idea. But if you're thinking about it, if you're intentional, when I was flying home from Texas, I wait until somebody's in the bathroom on the airplane, and then I get up to go to the bathroom, because that means that I'm standing by the flight attendant waiting. So that gives me an opportunity to talk to them. So I do this every time I'm on a flight. I wait till somebody goes in the bathroom and that they're full. So then I just start a conversation. So Steve, you can see the guy's name tag. How long have you been a flight attendant? Oh, just a year and a half. Oh, what did you do before this? oh, you owned a bakery. Oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. So conversation to conversation. And as I'm waiting, I learn more and more about Steve. And then we see, how can I help Steve? And then before I sit down, I give Steve a mini catalog. I get his contact information, and I tell him that I'm going to text him some really great vegetarian recipes because I found out that he's a vegetarian. And that's how I got his contact information. Right, I pulled my phone right out and I said, why don't you give me your cell phone number and I'll text you some really great recipes. And he didn't hesitate to rattle off his cell phone number. So when you get into the habit of that, now I have Steve's cell phone number, and I put him in my cell phone as Steve, flight attendant, Southwest, home from Texas. So I know exactly where I met him. And now this week I'll follow up with him with some more specials to see if he wants to do a show. And I have a customer from Southwest, Angela, who's done 2 catalog shows with me, and she was a flight attendant that I sold a quick store picture to. Same thing, waiting in line when somebody goes into the bathroom. So even, Barb, if you're not out too often, you know, even if you're going to the store, you're meeting people. So just start with something small, like having a conversation. I like your shoes. How long have you been working here? Start a conversation and then text me and say, this is what I started the conversation, and then I'll help you to know what to do to continue the conversation if you text Jen or myself or Wendy, any of your directors. We'll give you the next line. So the next time you're out, you can start a conversation, and then we'll give you what to do next. Obviously, you can't be texting us while you're chatting with the person. But you know what I mean? But we can help you so that, again, like I was saying to Linda earlier, it gets easier and easier.
Okay. And so let's go on to the next. So typically, when we, Sue, can you message Melissa Kidd the Zoom link? She just messaged me. Thank you. All right. So usually we aren't doing these things, and I speak from experience because we maybe don't know what to say, we don't know what to do, or maybe we are just, you know, plain scared because of that. And so we're scared when we don't know what to do or how to do it, which is kind of what we just talked about. All right, so out and about. What scares you about this? So if you're muted, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if out and abouts are scary to you, I want to know why. They're scary to me too.
Rejection.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It is much easier for me personally to approach people through Facebook than in real life. Anybody else?
I want to say that I have no problem striking up a conversation with, say, a cashier at a grocery store, asking them about their kids, or, you know, just chat. But then I don't know what to do from there. The transition to bring up something else that seems like it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So I guess how to transition when you're in a busy place and maybe there's other people around. So
right. Yeah, totally. And I think you kind of have to read the situation too. If there's a line of 50 people behind you, you know, then maybe it's not the best time. But,
right.
You know, I think Sue is a wealth of knowledge about this. Christine does a lot of out and abouts. You know, I most of my out and abouts are out and about on Facebook.
So acknowledging exactly what you were saying, Carrie, is key. Like, gosh, I know that you're really busy and you have customers waiting in line, so I don't want to take any more of your time. But if you don't mind just giving me your cell phone number, I'll text you a recipe. I'll text you whatever, or if you don't mind just jotting down your phone number, they'll pull a piece of register tape, rip it off, and write their first name and their cell phone number on it often, and just hand it to you, and you say, I'll text you when you're not so busy. I would love to get you some great information or whatever. Or turning a conversation around, when you talk, there will be things that will teach you how to drop words like, so what do you do for a living? And then they say, oh, so what do you do? So they'll give you an opportunity for you to be able to reply back and to turn a conversation from a conversation about cute shoes to a conversation about Pampered Chef. So that could be a whole training.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, make it a daily habit to get to know people. And like Sue said, find out how you can help them. And so I don't do a ton of live out and abouts, but I do a lot of them on Facebook. And my most successful ones are people that I just start striking up private message conversations with. Like, you know, they're in a party that I'm doing, and we just get chatting, you know. And once people know you and see you're personable and you've asked them about their kids and all of this, that they are more likely to want to have a party with you. So Sue already gave us some examples of the plane flight and the flight attendant. Sue, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Just that if this is, if you need to get outside of your family and friend circle like Linda and a lot of us do, that we're going to be starting our Disney bound Monday night trainings, and there will be an entire night dedicated to prospecting, where to find leads, word choices to use, verbiage to memorize. So it is a learned skill. So just because it's so funny, in my church life group tonight, we were talking about the introverts versus the extroverts, and that we need to, as a church, be more extroverted and reach out. And my husband and my daughter are the introverts, and they're like, oh, you know, but it's so funny, but they acknowledge that it is a learned behavior, and it's something that you can choose to do. And I think the thing that makes people successful in any area is learning a new skill. So there are things I'm learning about Facebook parties that is stretching me, because that's not my forte. And there'll be areas about out and abouts that might stretch some of you. But remember, you'll find a way of communicating with people that fits your personality. You don't have to use my words, and you don't have to be me. You'll be able to use your passion, like Carrie does, Juice Plus Towers and vegetable salad in a jar classes. And she's going to have a way to be able to talk about that in a conversation. And Tammy does a lot of vegan and vegetarian food. So she's going to be able to use that as a way to have conversation. So keep in mind that when we do this training, that if we, Jen, myself, Christine, if we use words that you're thinking, yeah, there's no way I would use that word, that is so out of my comfort zone, don't just sit there, but say, do you have some other word choices? Because those I would never come flying out of my mouth. You have to be honest with yourself as to what will and won't work, so that we can help curtail it to you. But it's basically just learning how to have conversations with strangers and how to turn a conversation. And just so you know, as great as Christine and I are on out and abouts, I cannot turn my first flight from Manchester to Chicago. I tried for all I was worth. I specifically sat between two women of the appropriate age for Pampered Chef. Like, you choose your seats, right? I sat in the middle. I do this on purpose, and neither one of them would carry on a conversation with me. So I read a book. And then my second part of my flight, I sat next to a lady, and she was chatty as all hell, but she did not interested in Pampered Chef one bit. I learned all about her whole life, but Pampered Chef was not anything she was interested in. So you win some, you lose some, right?
Oh, so like Sue mentioned, we are starting the Disney bound trainings, or that will be on Monday nights, the other trainings. And so you can do that, and there will be stuff on prospecting. But PC University is always at our fingertips whenever we want it, no specific time. And there is a training on prospecting for hosts. And so this is how you would get there. You would go to Consultants Corner, go under Training and Resources to PC University, and it's under Booking. So you would click Booking, and then you just scroll down, and there's a thing on prospecting for hosts. All right. So recruiting this month, people get my favorite, my very, very favorite Rock Crock 4-quart slow cooker set. I am in love with my Rock Crock. And so this is a really great incentive for new people to join your team. And so if you're going to Disney, qualified recruits are essential. You get a lot of points for your recruits. So, for example, instead of having to do, Sue, is it 1,000 you get per recruit? 3,000? Can't
Now
remember.
now we get 3,000 per qualified recruit, which is new.
Yeah, so you get 3,000 points towards your trip. So that's like trying to do $3,000 in sales, because you get $1 for every 1 point for every dollar you sell. So recruits are worth like $3,000 basically once they qualify. So unmute yourselves, and I just kind of think back to like October and the hosts that you've had since then over the past few months. And did you talk to them about the Pampered Chef business opportunity? Yes or no? Raise your hand if you think you could say yes, you have. Barb, okay, great. Keep them raised. Sue, okay. Christine, okay. All right. Awesome. So for those of you who did not raise your hand, can you tell us why? Like what scares you about recruiting?
I can say for me, I've only had a few shows and so far, and it was with people who are very close to me, and one of them is actually my leader in another in Juice Plus. So
oh, cool.
And one is my sister, and
okay.
I was just so close to the people that were my hosts that I didn't feel it was really appropriate.
Okay.
But I'm anxious to move out of my circle a little bit to have the opportunity to start talking about recruiting.
Yeah. And so, Carrie, I can tell you personally that I know exactly what you mean. I did actually, I did a party for my parents this past week, and I sent them the same host packet I send everyone else, including on the recruiting special. I would love to have you on my team. And so when my parents get that, you know, they see, oh, I would love to have them on my team. Does that mean they joined my team? No. But I told them I would love to have them on my team, you know, and my dad is retired now. So I was like, you could totally do this. Doesn't mean he's going to, you know.
Right.
And then my Mary Kay consultant, I've had the same Mary Kay consultant for like 3 years, and we do parties for each other and stuff. And she and I, you know, we ask each other every time we do a party. We're like, we know we have to ask each other this, even if the other person's not interested, you know. And so we ask each other, you know, and we still send each other, you know, the recruiting information if we're doing a party for each other, you know.
I am so happy to hear you say that, Jen. So happy, because Jen is right on mark there, Carrie. You want to say, can I practice? You know, hey, sister, I know that you probably, this is the farthest thing from your mind, but I really need to practice this as part of my job. Do you mind if I just go through the recruiting brochure with you? they had people do that and lead to do 6 practice recruits. And I cannot even tell you the number of people that they signed with their practice recruits.
Wow.
Yeah. People that they would not have normally asked because they assumed that they didn't want to. But they said, we want you to go out and do 6 interviews with 6 different people. So we don't care if it's your sister, your brother, whatever, but they have to be 18 years of age or older, and you need to really go through it and practice it. So my suggestion is to just be honest. Look, I got to practice this, and do it with, all your hosts. Like, I know that this might be the farthest thing from your mind, but it's part of my job, and I really need to practice making sure that I cover this with all my hostesses. Do you mind if I take a minute and go through the brochure with you?
Sounds good. And I will say that I did give a host packet to each of those people, and it did have all the information in the packet, but I just didn't really bring it up when I was talking with them. So that is a good idea to practice.
That will be a lesson in our next training too. So stay tuned for Disney Bound.
Thank you for sharing, Carrie. Who else? What scares you about recruiting?
I don't remember if I talked to any of my hosts. I have talked to other people about it. I have been hardcore trying to recruit a couple of people.
Yeah, awesome.
And I have one girl who's she's pregnant and she's a dog walker. So she wants to be walking dogs when she is a newborn. Right. So I'm thinking, this is perfect for you.
Yeah.
Now by the time the baby comes, and she's like very interested, but she's kind of a procrastinator. And so I just talked to her the other day, and I gave her the flyer. She is very interested, but she asked me to talk to her again this week.
Nice.
So we'll talk to her again this week. And then last week, when I went to drop off a host packet for the lady that I'm doing the catalog party for, there was another lady there, and she was interested. So I'm getting back in touch with her as she asked at the end of this week. So, and then I have another friend that I've been working on, but she's not an easy sell.
Yeah, and sometimes people aren't interested. Not everybody who even talks to you about the business will be interested. It's a numbers thing.
Yeah.
The more people you talk to, the more people who are likely to say yes. And if you talk to enough people, then you'll have people join your team.
Yeah. Well, I keep trying.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else?
I feel like it's taken me a while to feel confident in the steps that I've done so far. That, I feel like I need to feel confident in what I'm doing before I'm going to lead someone else, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. And so just so all of you know, when you have someone join your team, you just send them right to me or Christine or Sue, and we are going to give them the same training that you're getting.
And I think that's what I'm kind of figuring out now. I've heard that in the last couple of trainings. But I think the parties that I have done, I've been kind of focusing on getting myself confident in them. So I haven't done as much host coaching as I need to. I'm getting better at it.
Okay.
And I'd love to get some more information from you as to how your conversations are going with all the guests from the virtual parties. Because I've been I stepped out of my comfort zone. I've been messaging everybody. Most of them don't ever message me back, and the ones that do are like, yeah, I've seen things, bye.
They say what? I'm sorry.
They pretty much blow me off. They don't want to enter a conversation with me. They're like, yeah, I'm seeing things, I'm just not commenting.
Oh, okay. So what I do when I reach out to people, so actually here's what I've been doing lately is I'm posting a game where people have to private message me the answer. So in the virtual party group for consultants, there are these fun with food games, and it's this close up of food and like you don't know what it is. And so I'm like, private message me your guess. And so once they private message you, they're going to see your message back to them, even if you're not Facebook friends. Because when you're not Facebook friends with someone and you send them a message, it goes into their message requests to die. Sometimes they might see it, but it's rare. So if you can get the guests on the party doing something where they have to message you, that is great. You know, I also send friend requests to people who are active in the party so that they'll see a message from me. Sometimes I will reply to a post that they have made and say, hey, I sent you a private message, check your message requests.
And what do you do when a party is dead? My last 2 virtual parties have been like graveyards.
You know, and we all have those. Have you watched the Stephen Joseph training yet?
No.
Oh my God, you have to watch it. It's like an hour and it is just the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. That, and then Sue posted another one, Cami Cruz. That one was good too. I don't remember how long that one was, 30 minutes to an hour. But those were both really good. But what I'm loving about the Stephen Joseph one is you're putting, and Cami Cruz says this too, put your hosts into a group message when their party starts. And every day you send them a host post to put into the party. And you also are having a little friendly competition where your hosts are trying, whoever has the highest sales in their party for that week gets a prize.
Okay.
And so, I mean, the host is critical to the party. And, you know, you and I can talk more about that maybe personally, but a lot of it is the host coaching.
Oh, 1,000%. The amazing party that I just had, not a single person spoke during her entire virtual piece of the party. Not a single person commented on a single thing that I said.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she messaged every single person, like sent them the link, told them what types of things they'd love to order, and orders just for like flying in. Because she did like all this work behind the scenes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good. So then it doesn't even matter that the party was dead in that case.
Yeah.
You know,
I doubtful is that nobody booked from it as of now, but
yeah. All right. So let's take a peek at this over here. So you may be scared that no one brought this up, but it's true. Sometimes we're scared that if we offer the business to our host that we are losing that show, we're losing that money. So if our host decides to sign up and then they turn their party that they booked with us into their launch party, and then, you know, and they get the commission and they get all the bookings, that it could be scary to think about losing that income. And that's very normal. However, what you need to know is that losing a show or two to recruits is actually better for your business long term. Having recruits is going to give you long-term income versus short-term income. And so if you look at the images on the right, you can see that Jen did $2,400 in sales as a senior consultant, right? But because she has someone on her team who did some sales, she's getting overrides. Now, when she's a team leader and she has someone else on her team, she's getting even more overrides. So she's gone up to $80 in overrides instead of just $35. When Jen becomes a director, instead of $80 in overrides, she's now getting $195, and then, whoops, and then $50 more. So 195 plus 50 is $245 more. And this is like a monthly thing coming in. Let's see. And then it's talking about Jen builds her team, holds 2 parties a week, 48,000 in personal sales, builds personal team to 14. So then, instead of making $797 in a month, she's making $1,739 in a month. And then you can see for advanced director and senior director, it doesn't break it down in the same way, but you're just the more people on your team, you have a long-term income, more long-term income. You're giving yourself a raise. So here's a real life example. This is my commission from January. So this was before I was doing full-time. So January I was doing part-time virtual parties working from my couch. And so my base commission of 20% was $613.84. But because of my sales level, I got another 4%. Okay, I'm not an elite seller. I have a 2% career sales bonus. So for those of you who have not hit $15,000 in career sales yet, you won't have this. But once you hit $15,000 in career sales, you get that. So my total base commission is $797.99 for January. However, I ended up getting paid $1,063.18. And that is because of overrides. Okay, so I have Christine's team, because she's a director on my team. I have her team that I get overrides on, and then I have my own personal team that I get overrides on. So, and then I have an activity bonus. So every consultant who's active on my team, I have $10. So I made $265 extra last month just for having people on my team. So if you had $265 extra, what would you do with it? Someone shout out what you'd do with $265 extra.
I'd go to Whole Foods.
Whole Foods, awesome. What would you buy?
Groceries.
That's a lot of groceries. How many people are in your
I know. It's so expensive there, but I love it.
Yeah. You must have a big family. Anyone else want to shout out what they do?
I'd put it in a savings.
Ooh, there you go. Nice.
Put it towards another vacation.
Yeah. All right, so now here is Sue. So Sue has a lot more. While she's also an advanced director, she has me. She has her own personal team. She has me as a first-generation director. Then she has Christine as a second-generation director. And so while she and I are both advanced directors, she has a bigger team, and she has a second-generation director. So her total overrides in October were $1,463.69. And then she gets all of these bonuses here, okay, for having a team. So her base commission was $2,371, but she took home $4,634 just for having a team.
And just so you guys know, you'll see the bonuses. It says second generation bonus and second generation leadership bonus, the 500 and the 100. The 500 is a one-time, first time that you promote a second generation director. It's a one-time. It's not every time you promote a second generation director, but it's a bonus that Pampered Chef gives you. So there are different levels of bonuses that you can earn when you help other people develop their team. And that's why Carrie and other people, when you don't know what to do for training, you just feed them into our machine of training, get them on the calls, give them the link, tell them to watch the videos, tell them to call us if you don't have the answers.
Yep. So somebody tell me, what would you do if you had $2,263 extra?
Get my dog surgery.
Yes, absolutely.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Sue, with all the training that you did with me and everything, and you just kept saying recruit, just recruit, recruit, recruit. And I did recruit. And then it was, well, now what am I supposed to do? And what did I do? Abby, Barb, you guys went right to Sue and Jen, and here we are. So don't worry about a thing, because you'll be directed right in the right place.
That's right. And then you just do it again. You re-promote to a director. Director is 5 team members, 5,000 in team sales. Once you get your first 5 team members, then you look for your next 5 team members. You just re-promote yourself.
Absolutely.
So
Wendy just recruited 2. I just should mention that. She just had 2 people in 2 days signed to her team. So
wow,
congratulations, Wendy.
Thank
Woo-hoo.
you.
Woo. All right, so here's Sue's November commission with overrides. So it was actually more than October. So her overrides in November were so $2,224.94, but and then $340 worth of bonuses. So $2,564. So that's about $300 more than on the last one. All for having a team. So she took home $61.53.
And we used 2 different amounts because I wanted you guys to see the organizational sales. On one of the commission checks, our team was selling about $18,000 in the month's time. And in this one, they're selling $46,000. So depending upon how big your team is, how many people are active, and how much they're selling, will determine how much your overrides are. So it's just all based on your personal sales and then on your organizational sales. But I always say recruiting solves everything.
All right, and so recruiting, besides giving yourself a raise, and so you'll get 100 Pampered Chef dollars for every qualified new consultant who joins your team in February. So normally we get 30 Pampered Chef dollars. So 100 is a really big deal for those of you who are looking for more Pampered Chef dollars to buy yourself some goodies. And you can use those for business materials too. You know, you can get all your catalogs for free with your Pampered Chef dollars.
And mine's going to conference. It's going to pay for my conference.
Yes, you can pay for conference. Absolutely. Yes. All right, so resources for recruiting. We're starting our 6-week team training this Monday night, February 25th. The time will be announced. Everyone hopefully got to vote on that. There will be a weekly call and homework. Now, to access recruiting trainings, that's another thing you can do. You go to Consultants Corner. Again, training and resources, again, Pampered Chef University. And then there's a whole section on recruiting with all these great videos you can watch on your own time, you know, whenever you want. All right, going live can be scary. Can anyone shout out what scares them about going live on Facebook?
Have you seen me live?
I love you live, Melissa.
Well, Jen, you are a rare breed then, girl.
So sometimes we might not like to watch ourselves on video, or we might be worried we're going to make a mistake.
I don't want to scare people with all the chins, okay? I mean, they're just going to be like,
okay, so you're scared of how you look on video.
oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay, all right. I'm sure other people feel that way too.
Nothing good has ever come of me being on video.
Business could come of it. Business. All right. So people love to see how real we are. And one way we can show how real we are and how non-intimidating we are is to go live. You know, and to show people that you don't have to be perfect to do this. I make mistakes in my live videos all the time. I mean, if you go to my VIP page and scroll back and watch some of my live videos, you're going to see me like banging the phone falling down, me trying to figure out where to put it. I mean, the more people see that you're not perfect, the more they think, oh, well, I could do that. You know, anyone can do this. In the famous words of Sue, you too can be a Pampered Chef consultant.
If you watched me today, I was stumbling over words and I called something wrong. Yeah, there is no perfect YouTube or Facebook video. Fear not. Just be real.
Yeah, yeah. So some pointers for going live on Facebook is maybe build a brand. You know, like a little tagline that you say each time you go live. Katie is not on tonight, but she was doing a lot of live videos, and I think it was keeping it real with Katie, she would say, and her kids would be like grabbing stuff in the middle and things like that. And then Sue, I think you use in the kitchen with Sue, or something like that. Being consistent. So Sue mentioned there was somebody she knows who every time they go live, they wear a chef coat and a hat. So maybe it's that you wear the same shirt every time you go live. But being consistent and building a brand. So another thing for going live on Facebook, if you want it to be faster, you have everything pre-measured and ready to go. Maybe you're thinking, oh my God, my kitchen is a mess. That's me most of the time. Just move the mess out of the picture. I've gone live sometimes and I've taken like a pile of like dirty dishes, actually more than one pile of dirty dishes off my counter, and just like moved it into the other room and then cleaned off the counter so that I could go live. And then when I was done going live, I brought the dishes back in and put them back on the counter. So, no excuses about the mess. People need to see you and not just your hands. And so, at the beginning of your live video, you can do selfie mode and then maybe put the phone set up on the counter so people have a close-up of your hands and what you're doing. Or do what Sue did and buy a tripod for your phone so that you can mount it in your kitchen and they see you the whole time. And apparently there are also these things you can mount to your kitchen cabinets so that you can stick your phone on them. All right, so Facebook Live isn't really effective if you only have about 200 Facebook friends. So you'll want to increase the number of friends you have on Facebook. Some pointers. And you don't want to send a bunch of requests out at once, or Facebook is going to think you are a spammer. So this is something you're going to do slowly over time. But one idea is go look at your closed cooking shows if you do live shows in Consultant's Corner. And then go check out the host's Facebook page and see if any of the guests that were at her live party are on Facebook. And you could send them a friend request, because you should be able to search the host's friends. You can also, in virtual parties, send friend requests to guests who clicked join or going, or who are active in the party. And then, like I mentioned, you're going to want to divide up your friend request sending, or Facebook will think you are a spammer and it will stop you from sending anybody a request. Another thing you could do would be follow up with a personal message once someone has accepted your request. And so I always just say, hey, you know, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us. How are you today? You know, if there are kids in their profile picture, I say, are those your kids? You know, anything like I try not to talk about Pampered Chef. I try to build a personal relationship first before I ask them anything about Pampered Chef. You know, and I might say something like, are you having fun at the party? To get a conversation started. All right, so we're gonna have a Do It Scared challenge starting now, because success is always possible when you do it scared, like Dumbo. You can fly. You too can fly. All right, so whenever you go out of your comfort zone and try something new, like an out and about, or recruiting, or going Facebook Live, Melissa, when you do it, post about it in our team page and hashtag it, Do It Scared. So that is the last slide. Sue, did you have anything you wanted to add about the Do It Scared challenge?
Sorry, I was sneezing.
Oh, bless you.
Just that every time you do something new, it is scary. Starting this business was probably scary. Doing your first virtual show, your first live show was scary. You know, cooking a recipe, like I hate cooking, so cooking a recipe is scary for me when I don't know the recipe. So we all have areas that we need to stretch. So I really, really want you guys to stretch yourself this week and try something out of your comfort zone, because that is where the magic happens. It's when you overcome, you know, I can tell you stories after stories about, you know, President Lincoln, that he tried to get into office, what was it, like 17 times before he actually got in. I mean, you have to fail. As long as you're failing forward, then that's good. You're learning from it. You learned what didn't work. That's why successful people are successful, is because they learn from their mistakes. And if you always stay in your comfort zone, you're going to always get what you always got. And so you've probably heard that story many a times. But if you want your life to change, if you really want to be on this trip to Disney, you're going to have to do something different than you've ever done before. But once you've done it, I am sure that when Jen comes home from Arizona and she and Avery have been on that trip, she is going to tell you that it was worth every bit of the things that she had to do to get on that trip. So if you guys really want your lives to change and you want to get off the little gerbil wheel and achieve, and it doesn't have to be Disney, it could just be $200 a month for your family. Achieve whatever it is that you got involved for Pampered Chef, you know, why you decided to start. If you would do that and just step outside of your comfort zone and actually achieve one little tiny goal this month, you're going to be so proud of yourself. And then you're just going to reset another goal, and then we're going to work on achieving that. So find something. And if it's a skill you don't have, like Jen said, go to PC University, find the trainings. If you can't find the trainings, ask one of us, we'll tag you in it. Like somebody asked about the virtual parties. The Stephen Joseph, if you go to the search bar and you just type in Stephen Joseph on the search bar, he'll pop up in one of the comments, and then you can watch the replay on how to do an amazing virtual party. So there's plenty of training on our team page and on PC University to teach you the skills. Once you've learned the skills, Jen, Christine, Wendy, myself, your leaders can train you on the fine tuning, the words to do and things like that. So I want you to pick what you're going to do it scared. And I want you to text your upline and tell me what you're going to step out of your comfort zone, you know, in the next week and do. And then make sure that you post the results. We all want to cheer each other on. So like when Carrie talks to somebody in the grocery store, I want to hear, you know, I did it scared. I talked to the lady, my waitress, or I talked to whatever. She said no, but I gave her my information and I got her information back. So, and then tag it, do it scared.
Anyone have questions before we sign off? We got 2 minutes.
Do you ever have people approach you and want to join your team without having to try recruiting them?
You?
Besides me.
Yeah, I did. I had somebody call me and
Yeah.
she'd never even been to a Pampered Chef show before, ever.
Really?
She needed extra money. And she Googled the top direct selling companies. She had a list of 3. She went into work and she said, I need to earn extra money. Here are the 3 top selling direct selling companies. What do you think I should do? And everybody at her work said, you should do Pampered Chef.
That's
And so
awesome.
she said, okay. So she called me and said, can you come and do a Pampered Chef show at my house? Because I don't even know what it is.
That's so cool.
Yep.
I did have a host the other day just bring it up to me. I don't know if she will end up signing up, but she talked to me about it. She wanted to know more. So
Nice.
sometimes.
Yeah, and my first recruit, Melissa, I was so scared to ask, you know, like I was scared too. I said, her name was Carrie as well, Carrie Thomas. She works with my husband. And I was like, so Carrie, do you know anybody that might be interested? Like, I wouldn't ask her directly. I was so scared. I was like, do you know of anybody that might be interested in the business opportunity? She goes, yeah, me. I go, oh, good. I was hoping it would be you. Like, I was petrified. I was so scared. She was my very first recruit, but I didn't ask her directly. I asked her like the back doorway. Whatever it takes, get it out there.
Does it get easier?
Yes.
Recruiting? Yeah.
Yes. Just like your job, what you do for a living gets easier the more you do it, right? Like,
Yeah.
it does. My daughter's an LNA, and, you know, like, she doesn't think twice about suctioning somebody's trach or whatever. But the first time, I'm sure she was gagging. Like, it's no big deal. You just get used to doing it. So when you look at it as part of your job, it is your job to show the products, to offer the host program, and to offer the business opportunity. Because one of the things I can tell you, those of you who are going to invest in coming to National Conference in the end of July out in Chicago, you really should go. Tammy will tell you, Wendy will tell you, those that have been. You will meet people from all over, every different walk of life. Poor, rich, skinny, pretty, ugly, one-armed, in a wheelchair. I'm not joking. There's every type of person, and they all started for a different reason. So we're the ones that are prejudging. It's not our job to prejudge whether somebody could use some extra money or if somebody will be good at this. Because I'll tell you, sometimes it's the people that you think, oh my gosh, I don't know if they can do it, but they're so scrappy. They're like, I need this money. I'm going to make it work. You know what I mean? So it's not always the polished person like, oh, they would be great at this, and they're lazy. They don't want to do it. And sometimes it's the scrappy ones that are like, I need this money, and I'm going to figure out how to do these. You know, there's one girl, and she was bipolar, and she was super successful with the virtual parties because she was like, heck, I can't get in front of the camera because I can't function day to day, but behind my phone, I can be whoever I want to be.
Yeah.
So you know what? You got to ask because you don't know who those people are.
Well, see, I'm afraid because I recruited somebody right off the bat, and she didn't stick with it. So I feel like I already.
Oh, let me tell you, Wendy and Jen and Christine and I, we all got stories. I have kidnappers left and right. I have people that have started and done 0 shows.
Yeah, my very first recruit never did anything with the business.
Really?
Not a single.
Yeah, Tammy's very first recruit hasn't even done
She
a
didn't
show
do
either.
one show.
Yeah.
My first recruit.
I have 2 girls on the team right now that have not done their first show, and I keep reaching out to them. So, like, yeah, it happens. You can't control what other people do. You can only control what you do, which is you offer the opportunity, you point them to the direction of training, and if they want to get help, they will. We all have them, right, Wendy? Yeah, Susie's not on this call, but she's got a couple of girls on her team, same thing. So all of us have recruited people who have either done 1 or 2 shows or quit or didn't qualify or, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm not a total failure.
No, you recruited. You're a success.
So normal.
That's right.
She didn't stick with it.
That's okay. Here's the scoop. Of the 100% of the people in Pampered Chef, 20% are coming, 20% are going, 20% didn't even arrive, and 40% are working. That's about how it's working. I always joke, a third, a third, a third. A third are coming, a third are going, a third are on the team. So, and you never know which third are working at the, the same month. So it really depends.
Just keep asking, Melissa. That's all you can do.
Well, I keep trying.
Girl, I have plenty to re-promote right now, but it's just the figures for them too. So I know where you're coming from, but it's okay. They'll come.
Yep.
So,
I mean, the one I just got today was 5 years in the making. So
yep.
yeah, 5 years
I
ago.
thought about this for probably 15 before I asked Jen about it.
See?
So you're not any different.
And Deb Doherty, who's on our team.
No way, Jose. And then we had lunch. I hadn't seen him for a while. Breakfast with a few people we used to work with at Bonton. He came out, saw my label. He says, so how you doing with it? And he started asking questions, and he joined today. So
Nice.
you just got to keep building the relationships, like Jen said.
And Carrie Sandblum had no intention. She went to support a friend. She didn't even think she was going to buy anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then the same month, Deb Doherty called me. I talked to her a year ago, and she said, I'll talk to you after January, a year later. And she called me and said, hey, it's been a year. I'm ready. I was like, oh, who are you? Let me go back to my paperwork. You know what I mean? So it does. You're planting seeds now, Melissa, for what you're going to harvest later. Same for you, Abby. You're going to talk to your hostesses now, and you say to them, I don't know if you've ever thought about this before, but I would love to have you on my team. You could be earning some extra income, blah, 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 blah. Most of them are going to say no. 90% are going to say no. 10% are going to say maybe, and 1% are going to join your team. That is okay. But the people that you've talked to, then you talk to them again, and then you talk to them again. We had one girl, she was a postmaster. I talked to her 8 times, 8 different shows she had with me. And on her 8th show, her daughter, who was a teenager, said, Mom, I don't understand why you're not selling this stuff. You own half the catalog, and you love the products, and you love to cook. You should just join her team. And I was like, listen to your daughter. So she joined my team, and she was on my team for 2 years. So, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
You're going to learn patience, Melissa. But it builds character.
My daughter swears I am the least patient person on the planet. So, but I'm trying.
You'll get it.
You guys should be proud of yourself that you're on the trainings regularly. I'm going to do a drawing tomorrow. I've got some stuff in the basement. Did you guys see the email I sent out today? I sent out a little promotional carrot email. Raise your hand if you read my email today. Okay, the rest of you, go check your email. Oh, good. So go check your email, because it's a little promotion by getting some shows closed by the end of this month. So if you get that done, it's going to be a bonus. So I'll draw tomorrow, and I'll let y'all know who wins.
Nice.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Good night, everyone.